If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm getting hooked up here. I am actually live streaming on two places. I'm just not on my YouTube channel. I've got software that lets me do this. So I'm just kind of getting hooked up on TikTok over here. And TikTok does send out notifications, which YouTube does not. And I can see, and actually TikTok's doing that right now. I can see that, and I can actually see on TikTok who's jumping on, off and on. YouTube does not show me that. YouTube only shows me who's who's on if you comment. And they're only showing me the number of people that get on and the time I've been streaming. Good morning, Mikey. Good morning, Chef Dudes. Good morning, oh my. Good morning, Mikey. Oh my, what do people call you? Or is that just your name on your account? If you're jumping on, good morning, Sandy. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, great day. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Damaris. Good morning, user. I'm not going to read all the numbers off. Good morning, Mick. If you're jumping on, let me know. Is this the first time you've been? Comment yes if this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, because I'm seeing a lot of names. TikTok does show me names as people is getting on. YouTube does not. I'm seeing names I don't recognize. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Ruth. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Jesse. Where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. This month, in fact, is my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, BK. Good morning, Michelle. And I got into this in August, 14 years ago. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. It was the worst job market ever. People were getting like 1,500 applications for one job. And I started looking literally went to Google, searched make money online. I didn't know anyone. I had no idea people were making money on the internet, but I just knew that somehow. I think it was God telling me people are making money on the internet. I bought a website. They sent me a 3-page PDF with setting up pay-per-click ads. I was setting those up. I spent $3,000. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have training. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a system. I did that for a year and I didn't make any money. And then I knew that I had to find somebody who had done what I wanted to do so I could learn from them. You need a mentor. And the rest is history. I stopped doing that after a year and went, excuse me, ended up on Facebook. So the rest is history. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Deirdre. Good morning, Levon. Good morning, Octo. What do people call you? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. I'm seeing names. TikTok does show me who's on. Seeing names I haven't seen before. Where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Grace. Good morning, Beaning May. Good morning, Beto. Beto, what do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, DCAM. TikTok does show me who's coming on, and I can see, because what people do on these, they jump on and off, and they're not just getting on my lives, they're getting on other people's. And so when somebody jumps off and then they come back on, I can see that. And for whatever reason, there's very few people that get on these. There's like no accountability. People don't want to say anything. Even when I say, well, where are you from? I get very few people, and I've been doing these now for a couple of months. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you have a question, drop in the comments. If there's something I can help you with or you're trying to figure out. Good morning, Princess. Good morning, user 2234. Good morning, Rhino. What do people call you? I've been doing these now for a couple months. If there's something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on these. I did have somebody ask me to do a training on social media marketing, which I did. I've also done one on email marketing, because if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, you're missing a piece. You're not going to get the result that you want. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Bianca. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Brenda. If you're just sending people, if you're trying to use social media and you have the opportunity to get exposure to over 5 billion people on social media for free. But if you're not using it correctly, because I know when I started, I wasn't even using social media. I was sending traffic to a replicated website, which you never want to do. You don't know what you don't know, but you just don't want to send people to a page with information, like a website with just information or a sales page. The issue with that is you only have one opportunity to talk to people and then they're gone. Yeah, if anybody could like my live, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, I've got my MacBook Pro on my right and I'm on YouTube over here, and I've got my phone on my left, and I'm on TikTok. So it doesn't matter if you're on TikTok or YouTube. If you could like my live, I'd really appreciate it. That helps my account out. I know there were a bunch of people on yesterday that were liking it. So if you're jumping on, where are you coming in from? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. If anybody's got a question, drop in the comments. And I do believe, and when I say, why are you on social media? And I've asked this question and nobody's answered it. Another question I've asked, how much time do you spend scrolling on social media every day? Because a lot of you, and I did have somebody earlier this week that was honest enough when I asked that. She said, I spend way too much time on social media. And that's probably true for a lot of people. And you say, well, I'm only going to get on for 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes goes by, and then it's a half an hour, then it's an hour, then it's 2 hours. And you're just scrolling. I mean, I'm not on social media scrolling. In fact, TikTok is paying me for doing these lives. I'm monetized on TikTok now. I've been monetized on YouTube, which I'm trying to get monetized again. I would be monetized on Instagram, but they discontinued their program. They used to pay people for the views you got on your reels. So you can create additional streams of income. So when I'm on here, I'm not scrolling, I'm making money. And yeah, when I'm I'm on social media every single day. But a lot of you, and nobody really seems to want to admit it, except the one woman who responded to me saying she spends way too much time on social media. You're probably spending a ton of time on social media, scrolling every day when I get paid for it. You can learn how to turn your social media profiles into an ATM. You can learn how to turn your phone into an ATM. Good morning, Lawrence. Good morning, Jess. Thank you. Is it Nyack? I don't know if that's your whole name or not, but thank you for liking the live. Good morning, Dina. Good morning, CAW. Good morning, Desert Girl. Good morning, Max. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Judy. Where are you coming in from? If this is the first time, good morning, Xavier. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Annie. Good morning, TW. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you, Nyack, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. If I'm not saying your name correctly, I apologize. Good morning, Leon. Good morning, Jennifer. Okay, you're the first time here. Welcome. Good morning, Saw. Good morning, Leon. Good morning, Susan. Good morning. Is it Topita? And I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. Good morning, Vibes. What do people call you? If you are new, drop a yes in the comments because I'm seeing names. TikTok is showing me names that I haven't seen before. Good morning, Leon. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, West Street Guy. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Gigi. Thank you again, Nyack. Nyack has liked my video, this live stream a couple of times. I really appreciate that. And whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel, if you like the live stream, it helps my accounts out. And TikTok, the way they do things in YouTube, they're very different. I've been on YouTube since 2013. I got on TikTok in 2020. Good morning, West Street Guy. Thanks for jumping on. Good morning, Sean. Their platforms are different in how they operate. And TikTok has these things when people like the live, and you can go to the top of somebody's live stream, and if people have given gifts, you can see that, and they number them out 1, 2, 3. YouTube does not do that. So where are you, West Street Guy? It's where I'm at. It's a little after 10 a.m. I'm on Eastern Standard Time. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Mary Jo. If you're jumping on and this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Titus. Thanks for jumping on. If you're new to my live, comment yes, because I'm seeing names over here on TikTok that I haven't seen before. So there are new people jumping on. YouTube, if you don't comment, I don't know who's on. YouTube just shows me who's on and then the time that I've been streaming. TikTok just shows me, that I'm streaming, and it does show me, oh, you're in the Philippines. Okay. I had somebody on yesterday from the Philippines. Good morning, Thomas. First time watching me. Okay, well, welcome. I'm here every day. I've been doing these for over 2 months now. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I was here yesterday. I'm here today. I'll be here tomorrow. I did have to cut it off early on Friday because I had one of the smoke detectors in my house go off, and it was how it goes off if there was a fire, and there was no fire. And I just had them all replaced. They were replaced in December. My house is newer, so they're hardwired, and trying to get the electrician out here that did the work, because you can't, I mean, it's not livable. It sounds like, if there was a fire, it's that loud. And when I called, the girl I was talking to said, well, we don't have anybody to send. And I said, well, that's a problem. And I didn't know, I didn't even have the right one. I didn't even know which thing it was. So it was a mess. I had to get off, end the live stream, because you probably couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear me. And that was in a thing that went on for about 5 hours on Friday until finally they sent an estimator out, which he turned the power off. Good morning, LW. Thanks for jumping on. He sent an estimator out that really doesn't know electricity, and he turned the power off. And I've got vaulted ceilings in 2 of the rooms in my house, and 2 of the smoke detectors. They're really high up. You need a huge thing. And then he told me it was the one in my bedroom, which you need a huge ladder to get up there. So he turned off all my power. It did shut it off. Then he leaves. An hour goes by. They start going back on. So I have to call him again. And they find it was like the end. It was 3-ish when they got somebody. And these were 2 electricians. They had a huge ladder. I live in a condo. They couldn't get the ladder and the elevator, so we had to take the steps. I'm on the 3rd floor. I mean, it's just huge ladder. I have vaulted ceilings in some of the rooms in my house to get up there to look at it. And he swapped the smoke detectors out, and he put the one in my bedroom in the dining room and the one in my dining room in my bedroom. And I said, well, and it shut it all off. I said, is this going to happen again? And he said, well, if it happens again, it means the smoke detector's default is defective. I mean, there was 9 months ago, they were all replaced. I mean, I've had to do that 3 times since I've been in this house, because I'm now, the last ones I got had a 10-year warranty, and these have a 10-year warranty. And it was fine the first 9 months. I've done this twice before. I didn't use this electrician. There was never a problem. They come in, they swap them out, and that's the end of it. And she's telling me, I don't think I'm going to use them again. She goes, oh, we don't have anybody to send out. I said, well, that's a problem. I don't know who she was talking to, because the guy kept telling me to go look at them and see if there was dust in them, because sometimes dust sets them off. 2 of them I can't even see because they're so high up, and I don't have a ladder. And actually, I wouldn't get up that high. I mean, because you're talking super high. But anyway, I had to cut it early on Friday, because I'm usually here for like an hour. And at that point, that was a little before 11 a.m. I had only been on for about 40 minutes. So I'm back, and hopefully it's not going to go off again. But if it does, I'm probably not going to call them again. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Queen Sheba. Is that what people call you? Thanks for you started following me. Thank you. I appreciate that. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. If you got a question, drop in the comments. If you have something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. I've done that. Somebody asked me to do one on social media marketing, which I did. I also did one on email marketing, because if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, you've got a missing piece. So you're probably not going to get the results that you want. Good morning, I'm not Kalinda, Joe. I'm not even going to, I don't know, am I mispronouncing your name? Or what do people call you is what I should say. But if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, if you're just sending people to a web page, a website that just has information, and you're not capturing their email address, it's ideal for you to give something away. Like, I have a free PDF I give out for people in exchange for their email address. You'll get more leads that way, and it's not that hard to make a PDF or an ebook, or if you're promoting somebody else's thing, you could get good morning for us. Thanks for jumping on. Happy Sunday. To give something away for free. You could give out a free webinar training. If you're promoting somebody else's products, you could ask them if they have something, because ideally you want to give people something away for free in exchange for their email address. You want to get people on your email list. You want to build your email list. It's really online. It's the only thing you own because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. I've had 10 TikTok accounts I lost. I lost 3 Instagram accounts, and I basically had to start all over again from all both of those. And the TikTok account you're on today, that one, I started posting 3 videos last June. I did the same thing with Instagram. I just passed 100,000 followers on TikTok. I got monetized. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I would be monetized over there, but because they discontinued their program, um, I can't get monetized over there. Now, unless they decide at some point to get it back, bring it back, which I kind of doubt it, because they stopped it for whatever reason. They used to pay people for getting views on your reels. Now, you do on whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you have to qualify for the program and then apply. Like TikTok, you have to have 10,000 followers and you've had to get at least 100,000 views in the last 30 days to apply. And then once you apply, then they get back to you. And if they preview, then you're monetized and you can start making money. And TikTok does, they're really different than YouTube. I know Instagram used to pay for views on Reels, but they stopped that. So the programs are a little different. You have to qualify. Most platform, just about every social media platform, does have a way you can get monetized. So I'm doing these live streams, and TikTok is paying me for it. So when I'm on social media, I'm getting paid for it. If most people, if you're scrolling, and that's what you do, you just get on social media and you scroll, you're not making money off it. And like I asked somebody else last that she did answer, how much time do you spend on social media? If anybody wants to answer, how much time do you spend every day scrolling on social media? And the one person and there's been like one person that's honestly was willing to answer that. She said, I spend too much time. She said, way too much time. Because if you're just scrolling, and you may be, and I think there's a lot of people that do this. You say, oh, I'm only going to get on social media for 15 minutes, and then it's 30 minutes, and then it's an hour, and then it's 2 hours, and you've wasted how much time just scrolling when you could be making money. And I do believe when I say, why are you on social media? Does anybody want to comment? I mean, there's like 15 people on here now between TikTok and YouTube. Do you want to comment why you're on social media? I do believe, and most people don't answer that question. I've had a few. I did have somebody that she's got an organization that supports women who've been victims of domestic violence, and she's promoting that on social media. But I do believe that most of you, and you could have a cause you're supporting or a message you're trying to get out, or an on or on left offline business, but I do believe that you're social media because you're looking for ways to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. I'm on social media because I started this. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. I needed a way to try to replace that income. And when I started, I didn't know anyone. I didn't even really know what social media was. And I ended up one night, I did have a Facebook account. I knew what Facebook was. And there was an ad coming up my feed that said earn 100% commissions. And I joined that company. That's the first thing I joined online. That company's not around anymore. In fact, I've been involved with 16 companies that are out of business. But then I started meeting people because I didn't know anyone, because you can't do this by yourself. And we have a community of the program I'm in that we've got over 56,000 people in there. So you're in business by yourself, but you're not alone. You can come in our group anytime. We have trainings all throughout the week. If you got a question or you need help, you can come in the group and ask. So that's cool. And you do need training, you need a mentor, you need a proven system. And when I started, I had none of those things. I spent $3,000 on pay-per-click ads. I bought a website. I don't even remember how much the website was. Didn't make any money. And I was sending traffic to a replicated website, which you never want to do. And you don't know what you don't know. I mean, I know that now, and I won't do that now because it doesn't work. And I can save you the time of that. And yeah, you could go buy a website like I did. And then you'll end up doing something like setting up pay-per-click ads, because if you don't have an audience on social media, you don't have anybody to look at what you're doing. So the chances are slim that you'll make any money. And now I know that's why, and I did that for a year when I started this. I'm still looking for a job. applying for jobs. And over a course of a year, applying for jobs, I got like 3 interviews. That's how bad the job market was. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Karen. And that's what got me started with this. And you don't know what you don't know, but you never want to send traffic to a replicated website or a sales page or just a page with information. You want to send them to something where you can capture their email address and get them on your email list. And yes, you do need a tool. If you're building an email list and you're serious about this, you want to build an email list, you need a tool called an autoresponder. It's software. Most of them you can start for free. Like the one I use, you can get up to 2,000 subscribers, but after that, you have to start paying for it. And you do want to get more people. You keep getting more people on your email list. That's an asset. It's and you may have heard this. The money's in the list. That is true. You can learn enough to learn how to be able to send emails out, building the list, and then when you start to get some skill and you're good, you can send emails out to your list to make money. And it is the only asset you own online. I've had over 10 TikTok accounts now. This is like, I think, the 11th one. I had over 200,000 followers. I lost that. Somebody hacked my Instagram account. They went shopping, set up ads, and then they deleted my account. I had 2 other accounts that Instagram suspended, and then they did not rule in my favor. So I wanted to, and I stayed off TikTok for over a year because I was so disgusted. I decided I wanted to get back on both of them. So I started this TikTok account and the Instagram account I have now. Last June, I started posting 3 videos a day, 3 short videos on each of them. And I just hit 100,000 followers on TikTok. I'm monetized. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I would be monetized over there, but they discontinued their program. So you can't, unless they decide to bring it back. And I haven't heard that I don't think they're going to do that. But anyway, good morning, Kenny. Good morning, Sandy. Both of these, my TikTok and Instagram account, are new. I've been posting on those for a little over a year. I know what to do to build it up. And if I lost them again, I don't want to go through that, but you can always, that happens all the time. I know what to do. So you want to focus on mastering skills. I've gotten really good at generating leads. I've had days on TikTok, I've generated over 400 leads in a single day. Those are free leads because anybody, you can use social media for free. There's over 5 billion people on social media that you can potentially get exposure. Good morning, Freedom Chapter. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Kenny. Good morning. Is it Abby? Good morning, Todd. Good morning, user 42. Good morning, Sarah. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Where are you coming in from? I'd love to know why you're on social media. Nobody really seems to want to answer that. I do believe that most of you are on here because you're looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. Good morning, Lorraine. And you can use, I was just saying that, there's over 5 billion people on social media every day that you can get exposure to for free. Todd, make money from my phone. Okay, well, Todd's one of the few people that have answered that. I've been doing these now for a couple months. I've had a couple people, when I asked that, why are you, on social media, actually answer it. So Todd, thanks for answering that. Good morning, Romy. I do believe most of you are on here. I do digital marketing. I've done network marketing. I've done affiliate marketing. I've done high ticket affiliate marketing. And they're all going to pay you a percentage. And there's some good programs out there, but on average, they pay you 20 to 40%. And to give you an example, I've done high ticket affiliate marketing. I had somebody that came through my link. What they bought was $25,000. I made 27% of that, right, which is $6,200. That's great. I made that in a day. I woke up to that. That's more money than I made when I was working a job in a whole month. But over 18,000 went to the company. And I've had some of my own products, which I make 100% profit. I really got into that. And with digital marketing, it's 100%. It comes to you. The company, none of the money goes to the company, so they're not going to hold it. If you're doing affiliate marketing, network marketing, the company's going to hold the money. They're going to pay out per their schedule and what percentage they pay. Most of them on average pay 20 to 40%. And they usually have a schedule of when they're going to pay. They're going to pay, what day or whatever. They're going to probably pick the merchant account. With digital marketing, you pick the merchant account, you get that all hooked up. The money comes directly to you. the company doesn't get anything. Now, how the company makes money is when you need a website, and you will need a website. It's a one-time $39 fee to get a website. Um, so that's how the company makes money. But they have staff that they have to hire that does that. So it's not all in their pocket. Good morning, Roseanne. Um, so yeah, you want to be sending people to a system, and I shared with you guys earlier. Well, actually, Todd, my mentor has showed me how to create streams of residual recurring income. Um, she's taught me what she's done. So that's something you have to learn. Not network marketing. And then there are some affiliate programs where you have to pay, like there's a monthly fee that you pay, and that's residual. And there are programs like that, and you're paying, you have to pay that every single month to keep your account active. And then if you're recruiting people, then you're making a percentage off of them. With this program, the main program, there's no monthly fees, but my mentor has taught me how to make recurring income from other things, and I'm making money on the back end doing what she's taught me. And I've learned some things from some other people that I'm getting. It's not the thing I put out on social media, because some of the commissions are pretty small, but there's ways you can do that. And one of the things my mentor taught me, and I'll share this with you, is I have a link tree. You never want to put a link tree in your social media accounts. You just want to send people to one thing where you can get their email address. I have a link. It's not Linktree. It's like that, where I have resources I recommend, and I have that in the footer of all my emails. And then on my YouTube channel, I've got that in the description of all of mine, and I get sales from that. And those are things that I use. They're tools I use that I've used. They've helped me, and I make money off of that. That's one thing you can do to make reoccurring income, and where you're not putting it out in your social media thing. My mentor has taught me some other things to do. I won't get into that on this, but you can learn how to make residual recurring income on the back end of other things. Because when people go out and they put a link tree in their social media profile, and then they've got all these things listed, people look at that and they're confused, and a confused mind doesn't buy. So you want to send people to one thing. And if you're building an email list, then you can send emails out with things you're promoting, and get sales that way. But I mean, if you're new and you haven't been building an email list, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when I started this and I didn't know any better, I was just sending people to a replicated website. Most people aren't going to buy. Thank you, Alan, for the rose. I really appreciate that. Most people aren't going to buy on first touch. They have to see something multiple times. And to give you an example, I had a woman who got on my email list last October 2024. I did talk to her a few times on TikTok, and then she bought something from me in this past July. So she was on my email list for 10 months before she bought anything. So you want to learn how to generate leads, and you use social media. If you're doing it correctly, use social media, generate leads, get people on your email list, and then keep nurturing the leads. And I do get some sales on first touch, but that's not typical. Most people are going to have to see something multiple times. And if you think about your own buying habits, if you're looking at something, how many times do you look at something before you make a buying decision? And that's the idea, that you want to capture the person's email address, get them on your email list, and that is an asset, and then keep talking to them. And I do like a mix of stuff with my email. I may invite them to a webinar where there's a free training, and I just sent a video out that I put up on my YouTube channel about some ways you can make some money without having any money, and just send free value like that, because most people, and I get leads every day, so I have new leads coming in, getting on my list every single day, and I have people unsubscribing, because you want to sort people out, because not everybody is somebody that wants to work with you, and you may not want to work with them, and they may not want to work with you. So thank you, Todd, for sharing the live, and anybody else wants to share or like it, I really appreciate it. It helps, whether you're on my YouTube channel or you're on my TikTok account. That really helps my account out. And I've gotten really good at generating leads. I've had days on TikTok, I've gotten over 400 leads. You want to be generating leads every day, getting them on your email list, and then keep nurturing the leads, because then over time your email list will become an asset, and you can learn how to write emails and send emails out, make money to your list. And now with AI, you can use something like Chat GPT. If you're not good at writing emails or you don't know what to say, you can take the link to whatever you're promoting, put it in Chat GPT and say, please write me a high converting title and email. And Chat GPT will write an email for you that you can send out. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to convert. And some of the emails I've sent out, I'm just storytelling, and storytelling in marketing is very powerful. Why you started doing this. Um, and my story is I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. Ended up, I was broke, unemployed, drowning in foreclosure, drowning in $250,000 of debt, and I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. If I hadn't found this industry in digital marketing, I don't think I'd still have my house. But and I've had days where I shared that one day where I made over $6,000 in a day, that I've made more money, and that was more money than I made in an entire month when I was still working a job, and that's been life changing for me and so many other people. We have a bunch of people in our community that they've quit their full-time jobs. In fact, one of them, she was working 2 jobs. She's a single mom. She had no time for herself or kids or anything, and when she did get home, she was exhausted. And she started doing this, has left both of those jobs. So and you can do that. And I have people wanting to quit their jobs and they're not making any money. You don't want to do that. You don't want to quit your job until you're making the same amount of money online, and you've been able to do that consistently, I'd say for at least 6 months to a year. That this income's stable and you're going to be able to do that every single month. And there's skill involved. I've gotten good at generating leads, and now I know I don't want to go through losing any social media accounts, but I've mastered some skills, so I know what to do. And that's how I've been able to, like, since last June, this TikTok account, I'm over 100,000 followers now, monetized. I'm close to 100,000 on Instagram. I would definitely be monetized over there, but they discontinued their program. And like the monetization on TikTok, for me, that's another stream of income. And you learn how to create multiple streams of income, and a lot of that can be recurring now. I'm not really familiar with TikTok's program yet, and they try to get you in different incentive programs. They want me to put videos up about nothing, has nothing to do with why I'm doing it. Those I won't, because it's just going to confuse my audience. But you can create additional streams of income that's recurring income. And that's one of the things. I was monetized on YouTube. I'm trying to get monetized again. And you do have to meet the requirements. It was my fault. I put a short video of Taylor Swift. That video went crazy on YouTube. I got like over 10,000 views in a day. YouTube came back and dinged me and said, well, this is unoriginal content. So they kicked me out of the partner program. And now if I want to do it again, I have to requalify. You need 1,000 subscribers. I've got more than that. I need 4,000 hours of watch time. And right now on YouTube, I've got probably about 1,600. So I'm working toward it to get monetized. And their program works differently than TikTok. They pay you. You let Google run ads on your videos, and then when people click, they pay you. Where TikTok's a little different. They pay me for these live streams. And then they have another program, and TikTok's so crazy, they approved me for it. And that was video views on videos that are over a minute long. When they get 1,000 views, they approved me. And then like a couple days later, they tell me they kicked me out, that I violated something. I have no idea what I did. And I can reapply. I think it's October, sometime in October, I can reapply, but it's not. I think YouTube pays better. And I don't know about the other platforms because I'm not monetized on them, but that's one way you create multiple streams of reoccurring income. And the thing that I shared with you about, I don't put a link tree on my social media accounts. I don't recommend you do that. But I do put that, and it's like a link tree. It's not link tree, with recommended resources that I use. It's in the footer of all my emails. So every email that people open, and when people opt in, you want a system where you have attached to your website a bunch of email follow-ups. They're automated. That's where the automation comes in. Those emails work for me 24/7. That's how I'm able to wake up to sales, or I'm out doing something else, because you've got, every time somebody opts in, those emails are going out automatically. And when I first started doing this, the first year I did this, I didn't even know what that was. I mean, I was just sending traffic and to a replicated website, and that one time the person goes to your website, that's it. Because now I have had instances where somebody initially opted in, and then the first or second email they've bought on it. So, and I do get some sales on first touch. That's possible, but most people aren't going to buy on first touch. Um, and even if you think about your own buying habits, how many times do you, if you're looking or considering buying something, how many times do you look at it? I mean, you're building relationships with people and the being consistent. And like I committed, and now, so a couple months I'm doing this, I committed to going live every single day. And when I say every day, I mean 7 days a week. And if you're trying to use social media, and I've gotten tons of leads and sales and stuff from social media for free, you have to show up every day, and that's 7 days a week. Most people aren't consistent. I mean, this isn't a 5 day a week thing. Now, when I'm done this today, I'm done. I did some stuff this morning before I got on. My Philadelphia Eagles are playing at 1 o'clock today, so I'm watching that game. And then my Phillies are playing at 4. So when I'm done this, when I'm off this, and I'll be off this like in a half an hour, I committed to doing these for an hour, I'm done for the day. You can get it down to 2 hours a day. There is work involved. And if you're brand new and you've never really done this and you haven't created a lot of content, initially it's probably going to take you longer than 2 hours. And because the more you do something, the better you get at it and the faster you get at it. And I can, okay, thanks, Nyack. I appreciate you liking my videos. Thanks for jumping on to learn how to do that. So yeah, you want to, and then you start developing skills. And you really, it is true. It's mindset and skill set, and you have to master both. If you don't master your mind, it'll master you. And if you're not consistent, because what happens if you're trying to use social media to build an audience and you don't show up every day, like 7 days a week, what will happen is, and I'll tell you, if you don't think people are watching you, I'm telling you they are. People will come and see that you're not there. Now, like on my TikTok account, I go live every day at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I've been here. They'll go follow somebody else who does show up. So you'll never get anyone to follow you if you don't show up every day. That's 7 days a week. And most people I talk to, they're not consistent. They may start doing something, because you can't, go live or post videos a couple days and then stop and then come back 2 weeks later. You'll never get anyone to follow you. And most people, I can go look at their social media account, doesn't matter what platform they're on, and they're not consistent. And the blueprint I'm following, part of the blueprint is posting 3 videos a day. I post 3 on my TikTok account and 3 on my Instagram account every day. And that's how I've gotten, I'm over 100,000 on TikTok. I'm close to 100,000 on Instagram. That's how I've done that. And you want to learn, there's different kind of videos that you want to post. You don't want to post at the same time. That's something actually I really started learning recently, because I spent a year in a coaching program learning Instagram. And what he's taught me and teaches you is how to get videos to go viral. Viral videos are great. And you can see I have one on my TikTok. I've got over 2.1 million views that has over 40,000 comments. Those kind of videos don't create connection. Yeah, and I've gotten tons of views on that, tons of followers, tons of leads. But those kind of videos don't create connection. So there's different kind of videos that you want to post. And like, he doesn't teach that. And this is somebody who does 10 million a year on Instagram. I mean, it does work. But connection equals currency. So you want to do certain kinds of videos. And I'm posting different kinds. One's just like giving out free value. These live streams and live video marketing is very powerful. And I know a lot of people, you don't want to get on camera. Video marketing is very powerful, but live streams even more powerful. And one of the suggestions, I had a couple of people say to me, and I'd say to anybody else, if you want to do this and you want to start making money and say you want to start getting sales every day, you want to live stream every day, because this is, and video marketing is very powerful, because somebody can come watch your video. They got a question, they can comment or whatever. But this, you can interact with people in real time. There's no filters. This is an AI. And with all the fake accounts and AI now, people want to, and you can create a better connection with people going live. And you may have to go live for some time before you even, you might have to be going live, if you've never done it before, for a couple months before you even get any leads. And again, consistency with this. And I've been doing this, I think it was July 16th I started. I've been here live every day at 10 a.m. I was here yesterday, today, tomorrow. I mean, and Friday was really the only time there was an issue because of the smoke detector thing. I had to get off. Well, I couldn't hear anything, and you guys probably couldn't hear anything either. So yeah, and stuff does come up, but if people want to know that you're going to show up every single day, and the people you see making money, they're coachable, they're consistent, and a lot of people that they're not getting the results that they want. When I hear them say that, if I go look at their account, their social media account, they're not consistent. So the consistency is really important. And you can set your own time. I picked to go live at 10 a.m. because I can get everything. I can get my 2 hours of income producing activities done before lunchtime every day, and I'm done. Good morning, Lizzie. Good morning, Widow 656. What do people call you? Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, Nola. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes, because I'm seeing names. TikTok is showing me names of people getting on. That you're the first time you've been. Good morning, Alvin. You've been on one of my lives. I am here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you have a question, drop in the comments. If there's something you're trying to figure out, and I know it, I'd be glad to do a training on these. I don't think it's ethical to train or teach on stuff I haven't done. But good morning, Renee. I probably can give you a resource. I did have, when somebody makes a request, if I've done it, I'll do it. And somebody did ask me to do one on social media marketing, which I did. I also did one on email marketing because if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, you're not sending people to something like a capture page or a website where you can get their email address and get them on your list. And you need a system. Your system's broken. And I didn't do that when I first started. And I spent a year doing that and I didn't make any money. And you want to get them on your list and build it. It is an asset. And you can, like me, you can lose your social media accounts at any time. And like the whole TikTok thing now, President Trump did sign something now that he's extended this to December 16th. And from what I've been reading, there are deals in the works for somebody to buy TikTok because I don't know how long he can keep doing the 90-day things. And I have software I use on I love automation. If I can, I automate whatever I can. Software I use on my Instagram account that it answers all the comments and sends people when they want info. It's in beta for TikTok, but because I live in the United States, the company's not giving it to anyone in the US right now until this whole thing gets resolved about TikTok. But I know he did sign another 90-day thing till December 16th. And it looks like there is, they won't get in specific, but there's somebody that's in the works for somebody to buy it. Because otherwise this is going to keep going on, or TikTok's going to get blocked in the US. And there's a lot of people that live in the United States that are using TikTok every day. I'm not the only one. And it's just not, people are using it for business, online, offline. They could have a mission they're supporting or a message, and they're using social media. Good morning, Trina, because it's a great way to get your word out there, and you can get in front of over 5 billion people for free. If you want to do paid marketing, you can, but if you don't know how to, if you don't know how to set up a Facebook ad, because that's a skill you have to master, you might end up spending a lot of money on paid advertising and not getting any results from it. I've used some solo ads. I did pay somebody at one point to set up some Facebook ads because there's a lot of moving parts with a Facebook ad, and if you don't understand all that, you may get an ad up and get it approved, but that doesn't mean it's going to convert to leads or sales. It's a skill. I know somebody, I think he charges like $2,000 or $3,000 for an hour of his time. He's good. People will pay him that. But you can use paid advertising. But what I've been doing, it's all free marketing. My mentor has not spent a dime on paid advertising, and she's made, right now she's at 8 million. And by the end of this year, she'll probably be at 9 or 10. She hasn't spent a dime on paid ads, and she's taught me how to do the same thing. We're using social media for free. Spotted X, you're saying Adidas by Korn favorite song. Okay, I never heard that. Good morning, Will. If you're jumping on, and this is the first time you've gotten on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Cheryl. Love to know why you're on social media. Todd, who was on, I don't know if Todd's still on, said make money from your phone. I've been doing this month. It's 14 years. I've been working online, making money from home. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. Good morning, Turtle. Good morning, New Edition. And a lot of people don't. And Todd was one. I've had a handful of others over the 3 months to do this. If you want to do Adidas, I tell you in the video I did how to sign up. After that, you're on your own. They may or may not approve you. I have nothing to do with that. And I don't do that because they're only going to pay you 1 to 5%, and you're just going to be sending people to a page. I was just talking about that. You want to capture their email address. So if you want to make $500, you're going to have to get hundreds of sales a month just to make $500. I average 900 a sale. So if I get 12 sales a month, that's $10,800. That to me is worth it. Adidas, any of them. In fact, 80% of companies have affiliate programs. Adidas is one, Nike, Walmart, Target, Amazon. On average, they pay you all 1 to 5%. So if you want to do that, I tell you what to do in the video to go sign up. They're not going to give you any training or mentorship. If you don't know how to use social media, it's slim that you'll make any money because you won't even be able to get anybody to the page they give you if they approve you. They don't approve everybody. So go for it if that's what you want to do. I don't think it's worth it. Good morning, Mita. Good morning, Turtle Chicky. You followed me. Thank you. If you're new, drop a yes on this because I know there's names I'm seeing here that you guys have not been on here. If you got a question, and the spotted X, and I'm assuming that's what people will call you, or maybe that's a nickname, asking about Adidas's affiliate program. Affiliate marketing's been around for decades. It's not anything new. And 80% of companies in the world, they do have affiliate programs. You can sign up with them for free, and they will pay you for selling their products. I mean, Amazon has one that's average. It's 1 to 5%. So you're going to be making a tiny bit of money for any of them. And like I have a Prime membership with Amazon. I use Amazon all the time, but to me, that's not worth it. Now you can join affiliate program or like network marketing. You have to pay to join. They'll give you training and mentorship. On average, they pay you 20 to 40%. There's a few out there that they pay you more than that. The money goes to the company. They pay you out per their schedule, and they'll probably dictate how you get paid. They'll probably pick a wallet. I decided, and I've done all of them. I've done network marketing, I've done affiliate marketing, I've done high ticket affiliate marketing, and I decided to do digital marketing because I make 100% profit. The money comes direct to me. I pick the merchant account. Most of the people in our group, I love Stripe, PayPal, or Square. I love Stripe because I can withdraw up to $500 every single day, and that money is literally takes 15 minutes to hit my bank account. The money does not go through the company. You do pay the company $39 to build a website, but it's master resale rights. I did a video on my TikTok account about what master resale rights are. There are other MRR programs out there. I only know of one other that pays 100%. The others are like 80 or 90%. But me just moving from the business model, and there's different business models of affiliate marketing that put more money in my pocket. There are people, like I have some of my own products that I make 100%, but you got to create the product. You got to take care of the customer service. Digital marketing, you don't have to do any of that. So, I mean, because if somebody buys one of my products and there's an issue, then I got to take care of it. With digital marketing, MRR, you don't. Good morning, Kay. Good morning, GRK Goddess 2. Is that what people call you? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. If you got a question, I am here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time doing these. We were just talking about affiliate marketing. There's different business models. Affiliate marketing is one, network marketing, high ticket affiliate marketing. You could have your own products or services. There's a lot of people that have their own coaching services, and they're marketing on social media. And that with that kind of thing, if you've got your own stuff, there's no company involved with it. And even if you join an affiliate program or network marketing company, there's a company involved with it. Network marketing, you're making even less because those commissions tend to be low anyway. But not only are you sharing your profits with the company, the person that signed you, and that's the compensation plan, they make a percentage of it. So I like it more for the money, 100% to come to me. So yeah, there's different business models. There are people on social media that they don't have a business per se. I did have somebody that jumped on my live the other day. She has an organization that supports women who are victims of domestic violence. And she said that's what her social media account's about. and she's got to be a nonprofit because that's most of them are. But you can set up, you want to set up your profile correctly. And a lot of people, I go to their profile and they don't have it set up correctly. You can learn attraction marketing and have people come to you. In fact, this morning when I woke up, a guy I know, he left me a message. He hardly ever talks to me. And he's like, can I ask you a question? And usually those messages on my Facebook accounts, because somebody wants to pitch me something, they're trying to get me to buy something. And that's prospecting and that works. But attraction marketing is way better. You don't have to message people to ask them to take a look at what you're doing. You don't have to bug your family or friends. You can track people to you and get sales that way. And it's a skill that you have to learn. Learning how to use social media is a skill. Learning email marketing, how to generate leads are skills. And Doug Fireball, if you don't know him, it's Dr. Doug Fireball and his wife, Dr. Jody Andrews. Doug had told me a long time ago, this business is two things. It's mindset and skill set. And he's absolutely right. Because you got to master your mind. If you don't master your mind, it'll master you. And then you got to master skills. And I have people that say to me, well, I don't want to learn marketing. If you want to do this, it's a business, you have to learn marketing. If you don't want to do this, then you probably need to think of something else you can do. Because even if you had an offline business, you need to learn how to do marketing. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Kay. Good morning, Stormy Cells. Good morning, Maria. It is a skill you have to master. And the mindset stuff, I'd say it's 95% of this. And most people, myself included, when I got into this industry, had a broke mindset. And if you don't work on your mind, it'll master you. And a really good thing to listen to is if you go to YouTube and you search The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale and start listening to that, there's a number of videos of the same thing on YouTube. They're all the same. If you start listening to that, my friend Keisha shared that with me, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I started listening to that every day. The first time I heard it, I thought it was so profound. But he's basically training you to stop, because when you say you're broke, when you say you don't have the money, you're planting that in your mind, and what you plant in your mind is what you get. So stop saying that. Learn to train your mind. And if you need money, say, instead of saying I don't have the money, say how can I come up with, if it's $500. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. And to reprogram your mind, because and depending on what kind of house you grew up in, I can still picture my mom sitting at our dining room table. I'm the youngest of 7. I have a twin sister. My father's one paycheck, which I don't think was really that much for 9 people to live off of that. It wasn't enough. And I can remember her sitting, like every month at the dining room table in the house I grew up in, pulling her hair out, trying to figure out how she was going to pay all these bills. And a lot of people on here, if you do have a job, you live paycheck to paycheck. If you had an emergency that came up, you don't have the money aside to take care of it, because most people do not even have $1,000 in their savings. There's other people I'm meeting, they're getting close to retirement or they're already in retirement and they don't have the money to retire. And for people collecting Social Security, that's like $1,600 to $2,200 a month. Nobody can live off of that. And they're in retirement and they don't have enough money to retire. And there's a lot of people looking for ways to do any of those things. And if you have credit card debt, I know about that, because after I lost my job, the day I lost my job, I had one credit card with nothing on it. If I put something on it, I paid it off at the end of the month. And then I turned around, didn't have any income for the longest time. And I maxed out 6 credit cards with $60,000 of debt. The minimum payments were $1,500 a month, which I couldn't make them. Credit card debt's the worst. And if you're paying the minimum, it's going to take you decades to pay it off. And you're paying, the bank so much interest. And you do the same thing on a mortgage, but a mortgage is better debt. Credit card debt's not good debt. A mortgage is, at least you're building equity. A student loan is good debt because you're paying tuition to learn something. Anytime that you decide that you want to learn something new that can enhance your skills, and whether that's getting a better job or having a business. And a lot of people, the truth is that you may have a job, it's not enough to live off of. So some people are working 2 and even 3 jobs because you can't make ends meet. And I know what that's like, to go in the grocery store. And if anybody's done this, you go and you're checking out, and then the total comes up, and then you don't have enough to pay for it. So you got to start pulling stuff out, and then there might be a line of people. You might have a bunch of people back behind you getting, disgusted because you're holding the line up. I've done that. Or having to always count. I know some people take calculators to the grocery store because they got to count what they're buying because they probably, they're worried they don't have enough money to buy groceries. Anybody done any of that? I'm sure. I know I'm not the only one, but most people don't want to say that. And a lot of people that you're working jobs, you may be working a job you don't really like, and you're living paycheck to paycheck. And if you did have an emergency, you don't have any money aside. And a lot of people probably, and I've been in this situation. I'm not in it at this moment, but I was struggling to keep $1 in my checking account. I was so broke, so the bank wouldn't close my account. I was cutting mold out of food because I pissed everybody off. And I didn't have money to buy food, and I was hoping I wouldn't get sick. And that day, I was just like, I never want to be in that situation again. And this industry can change your life, but you have to be coachable and consistent and do the work. There is work involved, but you can get it down to 2 hours a day. There's a ton of us doing that. And like when I'm done here, I'm done for the day. And I was saying before, my football team, my Eagles are playing at 1, and then my Phillies are playing at 4. So guess what I'm going to be doing? So, and I did some things before I got on here. I committed, to take an hour. Part of my income producing activity is just to go live every day. And I would tell anybody, if you want to make more money, you want to get sales every day, you want to start going live every day. And most people aren't going to do it. And you can't just go live once. And then when I say every day, I mean 7 days a week. And most of the people I meet, you're not consistent. And this isn't a job. I see people in our group saying, well, I'll post videos Monday through Friday. That's an employee mindset. This isn't a job where you get nights, weekends, and holidays off, but you can, and there's a lot of things I can do from my phone. Now, this live stream, because I am live streaming in 2 places, I have software that I have both my YouTube channel attached to and my TikTok account. And you need, for every place you're streaming, you need more than one device. So I'm on my MacBook Pro on YouTube. I'm on my phone on TikTok. I could just live stream if I was in my car, for instance, on TikTok, but I wouldn't be able to do the live stream on YouTube. And what's cool about the software, when I'm done and I end this live stream, they'll automatically upload this recording of the whole thing to my YouTube channel. It becomes a piece of content that will stay there unless I would decide to delete it for some reason. It stays there forever. Now, TikTok only saves these for 30 days, and it looks like to me they're not recording the whole thing and keeping it whole. Looks like they're breaking it down, and then in 30 days it'll be gone. And when I go to my account and I look at the lives, it's only for the last 30 days. With YouTube, this will stay forever, which is cool. It's a piece of content for me that will stay on my account. And it's the whole recording. So that's what's cool about this. And I've been on YouTube longer than I've been on TikTok. I am on multiple platforms. I've been doing this a long time. If you're new, I do recommend you want to pick one platform and do that platform till you master it. And then move on. And I suggest you pick something you like, because if you don't like it, you're probably not going to stick to it. And sticking to this and being consistent, because I know the first year I did this, I didn't make any money. And people ask me that, how long it's going to take. And I can't answer that because I don't know your work ethic. I don't know the time or effort you're put into it. And most people that I see, they just don't put the effort in. And if you're not consistent, if you don't fix that, you could be making great videos. If you're not consistent, you don't show up every day, you're not going to get the results that you want. You may get some sales, but people want to know that you're going to show up every single day. And I used to think nobody was watching me. I'm telling you, people are watching me. And I know I had gone to an event and had a woman that came up to me. She said, I've been watching your YouTube. I had no idea who she was. I've been watching your YouTube videos for like 3 years. She introduced herself, and I had no idea who she was. And she'd been following me and watching my stuff over all that time. And she came up and introduced herself. So people are following you, and people are watching you, whether you want to, and they want to see, are you going to show up every day? And most people I talk to, they don't show up every day. They're not consistent. So you're not going to get the results that you want. So I did commit to these for an hour, and I'm almost at the hour. So if you got a question, put it in now. If there's something that you need help with, I'd be glad to do a training. Not today. I could do it for another day. Drop in the comments or come back tomorrow. Nobody's really commenting. Todd, who was on here, he did answer my question, why are you on social media? And he said to make money from his phone. And I do believe most of you are on here for this. You're jumping on my lives. You're jumping on other people's lives. I mean, that's what people tend to do. You're looking for something. And when I say, well, why are you on social media? People they don't want to say that. There's very few people that'll answer that. Even when I say, where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. Look, I've been doing this month in September. It's 14 years I've been in this industry. And I do believe if I hadn't found this industry, digital marketing, I probably wouldn't have my house. But I put a lot of work into it. You can get it down to 2 hours a day. I've cut over 5,000 videos across multiple platforms. I've uploaded over 3,000 on my YouTube channel, which YouTube decided to take a bunch of them. YouTube's on a tear recently, and I went through a lot of mine. And if I thought YouTube was going to have a problem with it, I enlisted it. So mine says less than 3,000, but I put over 3,000 just on YouTube. I've done like over 5,000 videos the whole time I've been doing this, because you have to put something out. I mean, if you're not making any money, it's because you're not putting any value into the marketplace. And the amount of money that anybody makes is in direct proportion with the value you bring to the marketplace. So nobody has any questions. We're over an hour. I'm going to cut this off now. I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you for coming on, liking my video. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.